Come here, son, nephew, young men, really all men. Let me holler at you. One of my followers on TikTok, and pardon me, I just got out of the gym in the shower. You know how that can go. I did a workout at my home gym today, and we in this Louisiana weather where it's hot 1 minute, cold 1 minute, hot one day, raining the next day. Who knows what you may see. Anyhow, one of my followers on TikTok asked me my take on being a stepfather, which is something I've never done. And one thing I believe is, if you can't have credibility on a topic, then the least you can do is admit, hey, I am not an expert on this. I don't think anybody is. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's the best I can do. I can give you what I see as positives, negatives, what I think about it, and how I would approach the situation personally. That way I feel like I can be fair, balanced, and unbiased as best as I can be. And unfortunately for my TikTok folks, I guess I'll make a separate quick video, but there's really no quick way to talk about such a delicate subject. Why? Why is that, Mr. Renaissance Man? Glad you asked. Hey, kids are involved. I got into education because I just have a soft spot for kids. I used to do street ministry and prison ministry, and somehow street ministry I've been saying that the last few days, wound up being the kids ministry at one of these churches that I helped darn near build from the ground up. It was there was a kids ministry that ended up being an offshoot of me doing random street ministry after I targeted a particular neighborhood. So I don't just approach situations with children like some people would. I know you got some of you brothers out there, you've been a player your whole life and you ain't never been played. You ain't never fell in love. You ain't never spent $1 on a female. 10 toes down. All right. I'm not that person. I'm a regular guy. I've had whatever experiences with females. I've even had a couple where I attempted to date females with children. So let's look at the pros to begin with. If you are the type of man who wants to see your community built up, I do suppose helping to raise children that don't have a father present, and there's a reason I'm saying that don't seem to have a father present, they need male guidance. Research shows that I shouldn't have to argue that point. And do me a favor, if you're one of these people who wants to do gender wars, or one of these females who wants to argue equality and feminism, that is your right. I have no problem with you believing what you believe, but if you could save the cat fights and save that type of stuff, we don't do that on my channel. It'll simply be ignored or deleted. I'm talking to men who are considering being stepfathers. So I do suppose there is a possibility that if you decided to be a blessing to a family that doesn't have a father present each day full time, I suppose that is an honorable thing. The Bible even says be a father to the fatherless, and I'm saying quote unquote fatherless, and you'll understand why when I get into the cons, in my opinion, of being a stepfather. Again, I don't think there's a nice way to say it, but when we're young, shucks, I even see it with young folks now. Young people choose partners, mates, friends of the opposite sex. And And when I say young, I'm talking about late teens, because people are going to talk to the opposite sex, even underage. But when they're underage children, high school kids talking to high school kids, I'm not condoning pedophilia or anything like that. But then, college age kids or grown-ups at that point who are 18 and older, a lot of times at that age, people choose mates for superficial reasons. Whether that's right or wrong, that's up to you to decide. I'm not here for judgment. I'm just giving my opinion. I think a lot of times people choose mates for the wrong reasons, which can be looks, status, that type of thing. So a lot of times folks can wind up in situations that they really shouldn't have been in, because they should have remained absent and waited and married until they are carried. Went after marriage. Wait, married before you carry, married. So they should have married first, then carried. Then maybe they would have had more time to vet each other if they would have courted properly and understood themselves, number one, and then number two, more about life. But sometimes folks have children too early and with the wrong person because it was for the wrong reasons. So for that reason, if that happens, if someone is in that situation, they may not realize until later on in life, oh, that was a mistake. Shucks, I got married very early, and I married I chose wrong. See, I can admit that. I chose wrong. So I know other people do it, but with women, sometimes with your more beautiful women, according to society standards, they may not give the more responsible guy a chance until after they've had a child with the guy who they figure looked good or dressed well or was popular or, maybe had a certain type of reputation, which had nothing to do with fatherhood, but they weren't thinking about that. So now they got this child for this guy, and now they realize, okay, looks, money, and status doesn't equate to being a good father. Now they're looking for a good father. I'm going to stop this video here. I do have some more pros. I think I do. I'm going to see if I can figure out any more. I'll think of some more pros. And then if I can think of some more or a list of cons, then that'll be the next part. And then I'll give my personal take and then how I would approach the situation. And as always, never lose the will to win and never lose the will to survive.